Now, in other news, a really sad story. The search operations for two bodies of a mother and her daughter who drowned in the Indian Ocean will continue into the night. A multi-agency team undertaking the exercise has deployed robots into the seabed. The government appointed PS Esther Koimett to spearhead the exercise. And Sam Ogina now reports on day 2 of a search party that saw ferry operations on the busy Likoni channel disrupted twice.
The search mission for the drowned bodies of Mariam Kihenda and her daughter went high-tech on day 2 of the search operation. Mechanic robots fitted with cameras sank into the Likoni channel to locate the car that drowned with the two on board 4 days ago. It is after 4 agonizing days for the family that the state returned with the verdict of having probable locations of the car. For once, it was a full deployment of the state machinery in the search party from the air, on the ground and in the sea.
We have identified 14 probable points where the sunken vehicle might be. So far, 5 of those points have been inspected and found to be other objects and not the vehicle.
We've got air teams looking at the magnetic signature of these waters. We have got 4 sets of electronic equipments that we have deployed to be able to look at how the bottom looks like vis-a-vis how it used to be in the way it is surveyed. And therefore, and of course the physical people that we send down to go and confirm those probable areas that we have seen.
The government now taking full control of the operation 4 days later after the incident. Transport PS Esther Koimett dispatched later Wednesday afternoon to oversee the exercise, the officialdom exuding confidence on the operation.
The operation will not be halted, despite the fact that the sun will sink. Operation will go on and will be here until the vehicles are brought up and the 2 bodies are recovered.
Strong currents and poor visibility for the divers hampered the exercise to retrieve the bodies. This leading to the calling off of the exercise, an operation that saw ferry services disrupted in the morning and evening. In Parliament, both Senate and the National Assembly are calling for the overhaul of the Kenya Ferry Services leadership. The MP is fingering KFS leadership of ineptitude on emergencies and security measures within the ferries.
There is need to review the structure and operation of the company with the view of ensuring that it has the capacity to enforce the necessary safe standard set by International Maritime Organization.
It is clear that safety is the last thing in the minds of the Kenya Ferry Services. They just do their services. They never even one day imagine that we can have an accident.
Focus is now firmly fixated on the multi-agency team with the search operation scaled up. Sam Ogina, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Thanks for that, Sam. What a really sad story. Now, 4 days since the Likoni ferry tragedy that has a family missing a mother and a daughter, motorists continue with the risky behavior of boarding their vehicles while in transit. Now, our very own Sam Gituku is in Mombasa and took a ride aboard MV Kilindini. And this is what he found.
We're now aboard MV Kilindini. This is one of the ferries that crosses over from Likoni to the other side of Diani. We just want to take a look at what transpires here. If you are able to focus on this side, this is the ramp and has already been raised from the waters, and now the ferry is already moving. But when you come to the barrier here, you're able to see that the barrier is mainly just a rope. This should be maybe a nylon rope that just to ensure that to mark the end of the accommodation of the people that are supposed to be boarding or the vehicles, and then you'll see that the motor vehicles will be on this platform, so many of them. Some of the drivers have already stepped out of their own vehicles. Others remain for reasons best known to them. For instance, if you're able to look at the car just next over there, you'll see that the driver is on board. Over there next to it is another driver who is on board. We do not know what the reasons are, but according to the rules, the situation should be that they should just park their vehicle there and then they alight so that they wait until the car crosses to the other side. And essentially, they're supposed to ensure that nobody leaves their engine running. But obviously this is just a few days since that event of Sunday, and as the process continues, ensuring that they're able to recover the bodies for now, because there's no chance, the chances of survival almost nil. So the process continues, but maybe if we can talk to one of them. Mbona hujashuka kwa gari?
Kwa sababu tumefika. Sasa ungekuja mapema kidogo ungepata nilikuwa nje.
Kweli?
Kweli kabisa.
Lakini nimependa tu saina nikapata kila mtu ndani, hata wewe.
I was outside, I was busy eating. Lakini kwa kuwa sasa tumefika, ndio unaona tunawasha mataa ya gari. Tutoke.
Well, of course that is not very true. She is misrepresenting facts there, but we'll let her have it. Haya, hujambo, jina lako nani?
Naitwa Johnson Karisa na mkaji wa Likoni.
Mbona wewe hujaweza kuondoka kwenye gari ulipopandisha gari kwenye feri?
Sina wasiwasi, kama unaelewa mambo ya gari za automatiki unakuwa makini, lakini kitu nachoomba, changamoto ambayo nataka nimpatie Kenya Ferry, hizi feri wazitengeneze hii milango. Unaona kama vile inaelekea saa hii mlango uko wazi, bahati mbaya mtu anaweza kuwa ameshikwa na usingizi akaachilia gari, inaweza kuteremka bila hata kujitetea.
Lakini sasa si ndio maana unaambiwa ondoke kwenye gari na uzime?
Sina wasiwasi, bora nisiwe nimejifunga mkanda.
All right, so you can see the sort of what should you call it, the lackluster way of doing things here. Again, they have their own reasons. So they have now gotten to the other side of Diani. So very soon, in a few minutes, just a couple of minutes, the cars will be moving out, and the pedestrians will also be walking out to cross over. Let's just see that.
All right, we're going to go straight to Sam Gituku, who is standing by live at the Likoni ferry. Right there, you can see him. Sam, good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. So what's the latest? What can you tell us?
All right, good evening, Jeff. And yes, even as the government officials insist that the search continues, what we've been able to see tonight is that we do not see any physical persons that they are talking about going on with the search. We do not see the robot that they are talking about being doing the search. But of course, we heard from that gentleman from the Kenya Navy, that is by the name Lawrence Gituma, saying that there are 4 electronic equipment that are going on, getting data from inside the sea and then sending it to somewhere that it can be compiled. We cannot authenticate that. We cannot verify whether that is true. But what we know now is that there are no physical persons. There's no robot that is doing that search, because the entire evening since we got here, there have been several ferry services going on, several of them making trips from this side of Likoni to the other side of Likoni. And for sure, that search is not going on. But then again, you might ask the question, if it has taken 4 days for them to get here, they are saying that there are 14 points that they have identified, but only 5 of them have been covered. Then the question becomes, how much time will they take to be in a position to cover the remaining 9? And also remember that all the 5 will have to be done, because there are 2 teams that are doing that search. So each team will have to go through each of the 14 points. So they have to repeat the entire process. So what that means is that they will require more time, unless they are lucky to spot the car in one of the remaining 9 points before that time concludes. But in as far as how soon that can be concluded is a matter of wait and see, bearing in mind that they're also saying that the physical persons that are doing this diving and getting to search the sea, they're also saying that they can only be down there for up to an hour because of fatigue, and also they need oxygen. So therefore we have just to wait and see how soon they can be in a position to retrieve the car and also the remains of those that lost their lives in this incident. Jeff.
Yeah, Sam, you know, it's such a sad story. Each and every passing day, it's been what, since Sunday, so 72 hours plus, and still no recovery, still no bodies. And Kenyans are asking the question, I mean, when did the rain start beating? Don't we have, you know, things in place that can take care of incidents like this? I mean, isn't this a sad reflection on us as Kenyans?
Well, that is the sad question, Jeff, because you recall that the video that has been circulating indicating how that car sank on Sunday, with, of course, the onlookers that were here, they were able to record the incident. So there is no certainty why it took so much time for even those people that were managing the ferries for them to respond in good time. So there are those questions that are pending. But then again, even when you speak to the journalists who are here in Mombasa, they tell us that despite the government officials saying that the search and rescue operation began immediately on Sunday, the first time that they saw officers come in to conduct the recovery process is yesterday, that is Tuesday, today being Wednesday. So they have only been doing it for, let's say, about 24 hours. But of course, the physical search has not been going on during the night. So it's a reflection, yes, as you say, of the tragic situation that we find ourselves in as a country.
Yeah, you know.